Y'all see my eyes. There we go. Okay. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Okay. Let this ride off. Okay. There we go. Y'all got to pardon me. My computer is still on injury reserve, so if it looks like I'm looking at it awkwardly, if you're looking at me video wise, then that's probably why. But further note, welcome back to Dissect the Dialogue. If this is your first time being here, welcome to the show. If you're not new, welcome back. Thank you for tuning back in. Where should I begin? Actually, I can see I'm looking kind of little crusty and mustard right now. On what week is it for fatherhood for me? About like third week, fourth week. Yeah. So you may see that I look kind of sleep deprived. That's probably why. But besides that, I'm actually enjoying the most of it. Far as that goes, very calm. Sleeps a lot, eats a lot. Doesn't really get too fussy unless she's hungry. That's the only time. That's the only time she'll ever get fussy. My baby girl. She will turn red if she don't get eat nothing. But besides that, I don't know. People always have like this misconception of like what parenthood is supposed to be, especially for dads. It's like how do I say this without sounding like, it's gonna come off red pilled. Uh, they expect they they keep us at like a lower level. I guess that's the right thing to say. They don't expect us to do much because they don't think we, make babies, even though, kind of help the process. You don't really. I ain't got time. I don't want to offend the feminists. But on a lighter note, or lighter note, doing okay. Parenthood, still working on other stuff. Still got the short film coming up. I'm just trying to get people ready. I'm doing a lot right now, so just bear with me. But the main meat and potatoes of all of this is that Orange Man decided what's considered perfectional and what's not. Apparently well, not Trump, but the administration, whatever. He just pushed the button. Let's just say that. But apparently, this is thing going on where they're cutting off certain. Let's be honest. Because most of these jobs look like they're mostly women jobs for the most part. Not to, it's just what I see that they're not considered professional more, or if you're studying for it, excuse me, that is not considered professional no more. I just actually put a short up actually a few minutes ago, but it's crazy. I don't understand. Like I haven't been to school in like a few years, so I gotta brush up on what people consider professional or not. And this is kind of matter of fact. Let me see if I can pull up something because everybody's all of a sudden thinking that you know, oh, it has to be professional. Everything's professional if it's this department or such. But let's just do. Let's search here because nowadays people don't want to read or even do anything of that degree. Let's see what professional is or professional. Yeah, let's do professional. Okay, so it says engage. Okay, so let's do job. Professional job, definite meaning. There we go. So it defines a role that typically requires a high level of education, specialized knowledge, and formal training. These jobs often necessitate advanced training and adherence to ethical standards, distinguishing them from non-professional roles that require basic educational qualifications. Examples of professional jobs includes fields such as medicine, law, engineering, where expertise and ongoing professional development are essential. Okay, now that we have that definition, and let me get off of this. Let's go back to the ones that he considers not professional to study for. So, according to the Trump administration and those idiots that, got their mommy and daddy to pay for their education, let's see what is considered not professional. Okay, so this is the list: education, including teaching, master's degrees, but it's a skill that you have to learn. And okay, nursing, still have to learn how to do stuff. Okay, because the doctors don't really do much. Okay, social work, public health, physician assistant, occupational therapy, physical therapy, audiology, speech language pathology, business master in a master's degree category, engineering in a master's degree category, and counseling and therapy degrees. So, according to the orange guy, Agent Orange, these are considered professional, according to him. But this is when my brain kicks in, and I'm going to go 180. He said something a while back where he was talking about certain types of jobs were going to get, taken. Now, if you know how Trump speaks, it's always a double talk. He says one thing, but then he means something totally different, and then he tries to hide it behind like a play on words, things like that. But if you remember what he said, you know what the title of this episode is. Are they doing this to take away black jobs? Because if I look at this list, for the most part, a lot of black women had these degrees. Not only do they have these degrees, they actually have, substantial careers. Now, some of y'all probably gonna heard me say before that, society they use women to get up there in higher education to kind of bring us down, make us feel unimportant as men. But this is like a separate topic. I have that point, but this is like a different point. One, it's like an attack on just women's professions. Number one, I don't know. It's just like a case by case because I'm guessing from what I'm seeing, they want women to go back to traditional stay at home, be the mother, not be career driven. Which, if you look at it that way, it does kind of make sense. But then at the same time, a lot of those women work hard to like be able to like get some sort of education where it's like at the same time is fits their role because a lot of these fit women's roles as being nurturing, kind of like that caretaking type of profession. So it's almost kind of contradicting to where if we remember what the definition of professional jobs was, you had to learn some sort of skill. You had to master these type of skills with the education to match. But there's always a loophole that's always going against it, which is that I don't understand. Like, how does nursing and what was it, education, that's not considered skills you learn? That doesn't consider a high level of skill. I mean, shoot, let's just think like this. It's not like Trump has skills when it comes to being diplomatic and being able to come to a conclusion on like how to not I mean, he's a crooked businessman. Businessmen live off competition and like destroying whoever they're competing with. Sure, people, presidents back then had military backgrounds and all this, but they knew when they needed to go to war because they had that experience. They've actually been, no pun intended, in the field. A guy like Trump doesn't really understand that, so he doesn't. And you got to think his world is different. This is the same guy that said his dad gave him a small loan of $1 million. So of course he wouldn't know what professional degrees or what's considered professional in that aspect. He wouldn't know that because his worldview is kind of skewed. He didn't grow up like you and me. Like I said, this is the same guy that said $1 million was a small loan. While the same people that's getting professional degrees that you say are not professional no more, they're in debt with like half of that. So it's kind of like a contradiction in a way. But how does would this affect? I'll say how would this affect women as far as like looking for career choices? Because at one point it was almost like it was hard for women to get into work. Now women are getting education, and when I say certain women, probably black women, get into a certain education. But really, college in general and just higher learning in general has always been kind of divisive, meaning they always gave those opportunities and let those doors open to certain types of people while the other ones. I think I was hearing some story about a person that went to Baylor, like which is in Waco, a while back, and they were saying that on his denial letter when he was trying to get into Baylor, that quote, we couldn't accept you because we don't allow someone of your basically ethnicity in. Mind you, this is like the 50s. So when I hear people saying like, all these things like we have the opportunity to go to these places and no, I mean, be honest, in the States, it's always been the kind of like who you know type of game. I mean, everywhere in the world is always like a who you know type of game, but in the States specifically, I almost said Pacific, specifically, it's kind of like a who you know game. Who can put you up? Who can build you up there? It's kind of hard. Like I said, I graduated when I got, I went to, first of all, I wasn't even like, college wasn't really like my go to, but I wouldn't mind going. Like I wouldn't mind like, taking some classes or like seeing what it's about, but I didn't just straight up deny it. I didn't really have like a high edge for it. So I went to community college, did like a few years, and got my associates. And then when I tried to get my bachelor's, I don't know, like something along the way happened to where if these courses that I'm taking won't make sense to where I'm going because I won't have the professional experience because I'll spend all this time in school, which is another contradict. How can you be able to get into professional jobs if no one's giving you experience? Some of these professional degrees that are not considered professional no more, let me rephrase that. Some of these degrees that are not considered professional anymore, some of them had to do, which is rare in most cases, extra skills or like doing extra things to get to that level where they're at. Like they had to, especially like if you're doing like going to masters, yeah, you have to. Some are taking internships, some are doing volunteer work, so they're getting experience with it. So it doesn't really make sense. Like, how can you say something's not professional if you don't have the experience to back it up? A lot of people get to positions just because they know such and such, and they have zero experience at all, but they're making a bunch of money making all these shitty rules, for lack of better words. So it's always a confusing thing when it comes to what's professional and what's not. Like for me, I'm still at a point where I'm at a point where I know what I want to do right now. But I think like once I got out of school, I was kind of like at a standstill because what I wanted to do was different from what I needed to do in order to like have like a substantial amount of income because every few years it's almost like a plane, like a They want to switch out the rules on like what they consider like because at first it wasn't even like this to where the thing you were talking is you want to be a successful, get a good job, go to school, go to college. Then that happened. Now you can't even do that. Now you got to have 10 years of experience by the time you're 18. So now they're just changing the rules. They're just changing all that, and it's just messing up everything up. I mean, with all this going on, it really shows a lot of what's kind of wrong in the states, which still is still a problem to this day. I was saying this too when it comes to like prejudice. I always said that they were like middle child of racism, but I'll just say prejudice. And United States is like the middle class of prejudice. It's like they want to try so hard to be liberal and free, and everybody can come and be themselves, but then they still want to have like their old ideologies to where certain groups of people can't get in these certain doors because they want a certain face. They want certain people that looks like them to have a certain bloodline to be in this group. And I think with this new order taking away professional degrees or what they consider not to be professional is proving that as a fact. It's proving that right in front of our eyes. Like in those particular jobs, like I have an aunt that does social work. You're gonna say what she does isn't professional, that she doesn't have a high level education, that she doesn't have, the expertise and like qualifications and the skills to do that. Because she's helping people. She's being of a public service. I mean, nursing, same thing. I mean, they're of public service. I mean, if that's the case, why not? I think because I get most of my stuff from movies. I'm like, you know, we tip waiters at certain restaurants and waitresses at certain restaurants. Why don't we tip fast food workers? They're basically doing the same thing. But it's like, oh, these guys, I think of Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, love that movie. But it's like, oh, tip these guys here, but don't tip these guys here. Same thing with degrees. Oh, well, they're considered professional because they do this type of uh, education. They do these type of jobs and have this type of education. But these people, they don't do it so much because it's not a high prestige. Like I said, it's like a different. It's like classism wrapped in like a pretty bow, but it's like it's basically what that is. Like these certain jobs are for these certain groups of people, and then if you want to go higher level, that's for those type of jobs. It's all the same. It's all just classism, just wrapped in a bow. But I think with this, what Trump is doing, like I said about the double talk thing, he knew what he was saying when he said taking away the black jobs. But I think it's sad because, and I noticed this too. I noticed that a lot of warehouse workers, a lot of them either are, for the most part, like American, some Latino, or they're just getting out of the pen. Now, why would that specific demographic be at jobs like that? Because it's something that they're conditioned to. They were doing it in there, so it makes sense. It's like, oh, they're already burned out doing all those years. They already have like a skewed idea of like, oh, I don't really have the expertise to make it to this level, so I guess I'll just stick to here. So it's almost like we're creating another next generation of like worker bees in a sense. Though people think slavery been abolished or dead. It's not dead. They just always rebrand it. Just like when marketing campaigns, they always got they slavery just keeps on having a new marketing campaign. That's basically what it is. And with this whole not making degrees professional, it's just another version of that. They want to keep certain people to have this type of jobs because they don't want them to get build their wealth, accumulate it, and being able to break any bad generational patterns and just keep them where they're at. Everybody has their role. The powers that be want to keep certain people at a certain role. Even if they could be the brightest person in the world, and they go for like something that's, will lead them to the next path in life or get them up there in the rooms, they're gonna find a way to try to move the goalposts, move the finish line. And that's what's happening with these professional degrees. Because I think this is kind of silly because my fiance, she's trying to study a master's. Right when she's getting in the groove of doing it, all of a sudden it's not considered professional anymore. Not knowing that we probably need those type of people in public health, like physical, mental, especially with women's bodies. It's a big thing. But that's neither here nor there. Now, final thoughts. Final thoughts. I would say for those in school, whatever you're doing, make sure that it's something substantial to what you think you can make an impact in. You don't have to be, have a job to where you have to be the leader of the free world or whatever. I don't know. Everybody thinks that you're supposed to just have like a certain, like, be number one at the top. Like you can be number one in certain things. You may not feel like it, but certain professions, certain jobs, you never realize you could be helping people. But stuff like this is bringing us down because what's going to happen next? Those are considered professional jobs. Now, what? Some of the trades that happen, some of the trades some of these men do, these black men do when they get out of school, you're going to say that's not considered, I don't know, they're gonna probably like make it's not considered skilled labor. It's considered unskilled labor because they're not working on a spaceship or something. I'm just being hyperbolic, but I'm saying that's basically what that is. That's basically what he's doing. He's like trying to like maneuver some way to not let certain people, not Trump again. I keep saying Trump. Whatever the administration is, not letting a certain group of people get to those rooms. That's basically how I saw it. That's how I saw the whole thing. I saw it as okay. He doesn't think these people that study for this, you know, school, for this class, for this type of education, doesn't think they're professional. But I guarantee someone that is a complete airhead that knows nothing about what they're getting into, and because they have a certain name and a certain aura based on who he's with, they get into certain jobs and nobody knows how they're qualified, but they know that they have a certain name, Robert Kennedy Jr. But eh, I guess that's how the game is. Just gotta roll the punches. I know that whatever I'm doing, my job's not gonna be taken away from me. Shoot, if I'm just I can be self-employed. Shoot, whatever. I mean, for all I know, I can make this self-employed. Just follow what you want to do, regardless of what people might say is what they consider not professional. I mean, shoot, male nurses still even get a bad rep. So now you got to worry about that. People just try to dictate what they think is, the right job for them. People still think CEOs is like the CEOs. Just honestly, they could fire CEOs. That's what I'm saying. Like CEOs get fired, and they honestly get picked. They get picked like not when I say picked, not picked based on just credentials and you know the skills that they're talking about. They just get picked on who has the face to like basically eat the shit basically. But yeah, that's all I'll say on that. But yeah, got a lot on my plate. Yeah, 'cause, I'm keeping I'm still keep on with these shows. Like I said, new chapter on live, so I'm gonna be hella busy. But I must always keep posted, keep y'all updated with all the stuff going on. But I think everything's going good. Like I said, I'm taking off fatherhood, working on a movie, planning, you know, next moves, what to do. But yeah, again, once in a long way, thank y'all for joining in. You already know where I'm at. IG, X. I hate saying X. Twitter. What else? Not Snapchat. Not Snapchat. Apple. There we go. Apple, Spotify, on all that, all those big things. And I need to make a call list. I need to do like a call-in thing. Like I said, I'm just getting dusting off everything, but I need to do a call-in and have y'all chime in and get y'all take. But yeah. Until then, I am gone. Until next time. Peace.